Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie. You're listening to The Fighter's Voice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And unlike our guest today, we're simply knocking out the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you the Vice President of TGB Promotions, the one, the only, the beautiful and talented Brittany Goossen. Welcome to The Fighter's Voice, Brittany.
Hi, good to be back.
You know, when we were off air right now, you were telling me about the weather. I mean, in Las Vegas, what's it like just walking outside briefly just to get in your car?
It's like being in a gym, a hot gym. It's sweltering. Ray Flores said he was slapped in the face with it when he got off the airplane. So it's tough out here.
Well, good thing the casinos got the AC pumped up. Hopefully
it's freezing inside. It'll really make you think differently.
You know, I was going to ask you that because when it's freezing inside, you walk outside. I mean, there's really no transition in temperature. What effect do you think it has on the fighters? And we're going to talk about the big fight, of course, coming up, unless you've been under a rock. Next weekend, we have one of the best matchups in the history of boxing, and that's Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. What do you think what effect the weather may have on the fighters, if so?
I think that they know how to navigate that. I mean, at this point, they keep those gyms so hot. I'm sure when they leave, they know how to bundle up if they need to, and if they're in a cold location. Here, no need. You could still lose weight outside. So I think that's one part of the game that they've all learned to control at this point.
You know, you've been around both fighters, and without asking, for a winner, we're not going to ask any of that. What's your vibe off of both of them, off of Bud Crawford and off of Errol at this time? And when does it transition in your view, do you think?
So, this is my first time working with Terrence. Well, I've had a fighter fight him. We had Sean Porter, but I don't know him that. Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he looked good today. The guy jumped up 45 minutes straight, put on a little show at the workout. But, Errol's my guy, and he looks great too. His mind is ready to go. I just saw him last weekend at the Cosmo. I'll see him tomorrow. He's ready.
You've been around him, most of his career as far as the big fights. Do you see anything different about him? His calmness, his poise, or is he just, real actually amped up for this one? Or does he seem the same?
He seems the same. He's a calm guy, but I'd have to judge that next week when we're a little bit closer. Right now, he's just in the zone. He's still a nice, easygoing, cool, laid-back Texas guy, but he's Big Fish for a reason.
Yeah, I like that nickname, the Big Fish.
I like it too.
Just the time that you spent with Terrence, do you get anything out of it at all? I mean, do you say to yourself, wow, now I know why they consider him one of the best in the world? Have you witnessed that yet? Do you see what everybody else sees that's special about him?
Of course. I know that this is the fight. People have been wanting this fight for a reason. This is one of the best matchups, I wouldn't even say in our time, period, in boxing. This is reminiscent of one of the throwback all-star fights. But, I'm obviously Team Spence, but it's real 50-50 in this one going into it. I don't know. I got Errol, of course, but I really do see why he's at this point and why this fight had to be made.
We've been waiting for this matchup for a while, and I don't guarantee anything until that first bell rings. Out of your experience today, just being around that environment, is it living up to all the hype, all the expectation thus far?
Yes, absolutely. And both of them, they're kind of similar, and they're not big, loud talkers. They're not super attention seeking. I think they're going to let all the talking be in that ring on Saturday, July 28th. It's crazy. I mean, this is, I can't wait. From the kickoff press conference, I was just like, this has to happen. I wish it were sooner. I wish it were this weekend.
Yeah, you said they're both men are focused. I can see that at this point in the juncture. And next week, I see one of them just to tip his hat just a little bit or something, just kind of help us with that 50-50, so to speak, kind of slight to the left or to the right. Out of all the experience that you've been around, when would you say that day takes place? Is it safe to say possibly Wednesday, Thursday, or at the weigh-in Friday?
Weigh-in. Weigh-ins when it's all on the line. That's when, all the hard work of the gym and the making the weight and all the draining things, it's done and it's game time. It's go time. And I don't think there's anything better in sports. Well, I say hands down, the best in sports is the ring walk. That
Absolutely.
every big ring walk gives me chills, but the weigh-in too, and that face off, that last final face off, that one that there's no more talk, no more, this and that and blah blah outside of the ring. Now it's game on, and I think we're gonna see a lot of personality in both of them that night or that day at the weigh-in.
Again, I don't want to go round and round in the similar questions, but do you see anything extra in any individual as far as like, hey, maybe Terrence brought in an extra nutritionist or Errol brought in a strength and conditioning coach for this match? Or are they mainly going with the same base that got him here?
Again, I wouldn't be able to talk on Terrence's training. I haven't been in a camp or around him in camp. So it was my first day seeing him like in that capacity. As far as Errol goes, yeah, I mean, he's out here in Vegas. He's training in this 112-degree heat. He's got Derek, who I don't think currently, I think he's one of the top, if not the best trainers.
Definitely the top 3 in the world right now, give or take.
100%, hands down. But he knows what he's doing. He's got his head in the game. I'd put my money on anything Derek James and Spence collaborate on.
Recently, Terrence made a statement that his training and his team doesn't get, I don't want to say exposure, but they're just due as a custom, as the Emmanuel Stewarts, the Angelo Dundees, the Robert Garcias and Freddie Roaches, just literally just viewing, them holding the pads or being around being around Terrence. Do you see that collaboration? Do you see anything that Terrence sees special in them, or did anything rub off on you that they were doing?
As far as his coaches, you mean?
Yeah, his coaches, his trainers.
Yeah, I mean,
did you see anything special in his camp and as far as his team?
I mean, if I put on that was a media workout, and that guy just went for 2 hours kicking ass. Mitts, and I was sweating even being in there. I stepped outside to get a popsicle. Okay, so but again, it's hard to comment on something when I haven't seen any camp before this. I don't know if that's regular. I haven't been around that. I've been around a lot of Spence camps. I know he's coming for the win, so I can only judge what I see there. And, I think I know who's going to walk away with the way. That's my assumption, at least.
To the viewers and followers, if they were to go into Errol Spence, if they were just to watch his camp or open workout, what would stick out in their mind as far as them as if to say, hey, now I know why he's special. Now I know why he has the team that he has.
Errol Spence since the first day I've ever been in a camp with him 7-8 years ago. I can't remember, but he gives it his all every time, every day. he lays it all out there. You know, there's some people who skate by, take some days where you're a little lazy. I do that myself with my workouts even. He is 110% every single time he's in a gym. And a work ethic like that is unbeatable.
You mentioned Terrence went for 2 hours, and I mean, I guess no guy wants to be outdone. Nobody wants to leave anything in the gym that they don't bring inside of the ring. What does it mean for the winner of this event, and where does the loser go from here? I don't even like to say that we're the loser. Where does the one who doesn't have the victory that night, where do they go in their career, and where does the winner go from here?
The winner, I mean, there's a lot on line here. Aside from just the glory of winning, I mean, it's been years in the making. People pitting them against each other, people pitting their styles against each other. You know, we've been close and it was never worked out. Then we did think it was happening and everyone was excited, you know, and it got delayed and pushed back. And there was all these things that tried to stop it from happening. And here we are finally. So even just to win that, just in that, the idea that they are even making it happen and they're stepping into that ring, and actually this is happening in their prime too. Sometimes you get these fights that you've been wanting, but you know, it's years and years down the road. This is two guys, two eyes. I mean, everything's on the line. So of course, not saying that, you know, whoever doesn't walk away with the win doesn't have other options. Of course, there's always going to be some, but this is, I can't even think about a loser on this one. This is just whoever wins, that's the glory. That's what they've been waiting for. That's what everyone's been waiting for. If you're a real boxing fan, this is the fight you've wanted. This one specifically.
You know, we can easily say 3 or 4, but as of right now, we're looking at back-to-back events for PVC that have the potential of breaking records, pay-per-view records, attendance. How does it feel to be part of a company that's, I'm going to say it, is the elite in today's sports?
I had to pinch myself because it's just it's surreal, I would say. I mean, there's so much talk. We're not really big talkers. We kind of stay quiet. You know, we're not out there all the time. Both are, you know, social media. Sometimes I'll throw out some jabs on my.
Yeah, I see
occasionally. That. Yeah, I like to, you know, a little bit, but
let them know you're here.
We've been working and grinding, and I think that shows with what we're able to pull off. No one's doing it like this. I mean, not to. The team is just all good people, solid people that work really, really hard, and I think fighters notice that too. And, you know, and it's the fans are the ones winning here. I don't even know how people could hate on any company though that's putting fights together, because it's like, we're all winning. If we're able to work together and put on a good fight, a lot of this and that and all the extra stuff doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, how it's win after win after win for us just to even get these to happen.
Hey, Charlie Sheen said it best. I'm winning.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be like Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, we won't get into all that. But what I do want to get into is Ryan Garcia. What was it today that he made $30 million? I mean, can you imagine what Tank made? And to be a Golden Boy fighter, take place in a PVC event, which is right now today the hottest promotions, and we're just going to call it as we do. That's no offense to the Golden Boys or the top ranks or
we can offend them a little bit.
But this event broke records, and it continues to break records. Numbers are still coming in. Can you imagine if we did numbers off the streamers?
Well, see, and that's what was the most wild to me is a lot of the fan base are social media savvy, you know, on the younger side. The fact that they still bought the pay-per-view too, and those numbers were outrageous. It's credit to both of them. Their star power is real. That crossed lines too into like a whole different, social media world and fan base that wasn't always boxing fans, both of them in their own right. Of course, I've never that way. And there's 20,000 deep. It's just, and I've worked a lot of big shows and been part of a lot of big things my entire life. But that was incredible. It's incredible to look back on.
What's most incredible, it must have broke a record, and somebody looked this up for me, but a non-world champion, Ryan Garcia, to clear that amount, he's not even a belt holder, Brittany, and he navigates those numbers, those followers, whether they hate him, love him, or want to be with him. Ryan Garcia has a fan base, able to cross over for that fight. Tank Davis, who's arguably in the top 3 of becoming the face of boxing. You can argue Tank Davis, Tyson Fury, or Canelo.
Oh. Yeah, but I mean, that the crowd, I will never get that image out of my head when the fight was walking and all those people trying to rush in. The concourse was still bustling with people to try to get tickets. I mean, it was the hottest ticket in town, literally. It was insane. Wild. It's just wild. I like think back to it and I'm like, wow, like look what these guys did. Good for them. That's based on building their own brands and social media. It's they kind of, are the first of a new wave of this social media generation where things are a little bit different than the way we used to do things. We had to adjust, but man, what a fun night that was too. It was a good win, and there's a little controversy, and of course I somehow got mixed into that with my uncle, which was outrageous claims, but so silly. I do miss those DMs every day though.
You get into your own scraps. Rather, you're just walking from A to B. I remember Tyson Fury's brother had something to say, and you checked him right off the gate. You let him know what time it was, and good for you. You have that fight in you.
Yeah. I was doing my job on that one. I probably took it too far, but we have a job to do. We got to get these guys to the commission. I didn't have time for the whole back and forth and extra people yelling. And so I told him to get in his room.
You took it as far as it needed to go. I'll say that. And
I could have left out the haircut part.
that was funny. That was a good one. I enjoy that when I played it back. I must admit I did play it back.
Yeah.
Talking about ring walks and Ryan Garcia, I'll just say this and then I'll move on from that fight. I enjoyed his ring walk. He could have had any song he wanted and he chose that. He stood by it. He stood by his faith. And, he's here to, I think he made a good decision, not continuing. People can say what they want, but the end was coming and he could have been possibly suspended a year for a bad knockout. So I'm glad he's okay and he lives to fight another day.
Yeah, of course. Of course we don't want anyone to. Yeah. I liked Tank's walkout a lot. So I thought that was fun. I think it was a good vibe. I mean, not knocking Ryan's. That's great too. But again, I think the ring walk is there's nothing like it in any other sport.
No. What I like about Tank now is that there's nobody there speaking for him. He's able to say what he needs to say on the microphone. He handles himself very well. He's very witty and he says what needs to be said.
Very funny.
Oh yeah, he is funny. Both of them went back. Well, that was a great press conference with both guys. They were both pretty witty.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was fun. It was aside from the debacle and the little issues with the Golden Boy side at the weigh-in, and I'll stand by that. And then the whole wild story afterwards about
why is there always controversy? I mean, why is there? I know Oscar sticks up for his fighters, he sticks up for his promotions, and but why? When does a promoter need to just be a promoter?
I think he speaks up for himself, and I think, and this is my personal, I'm probably in trouble, but it wasn't about him. It wasn't, that week was not about him. He didn't need the attention. He should have stepped back a little bit and let Ryan have his time to shine, his moment. The only issue that we had, and I've spoken about this, is I don't think Bernard.
I'm sorry, you were coming in and out, Brittany.
That you as a fighter know better.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I might have bad service there. Can you hear me? I said the only issue we had on the promotional side is I did not think it was right for Bernard Hopkins as a promoter of the show to make his way over to Tank and put his hands on him. Yeah. You as a fighter know better than anyone. You don't touch. When you touch, it could have jeopardized the entire show, and we just don't even know what could have happened from there. The whole he was going to fall off the stage. Worry about he has Calvin right behind him. You think Calvin's going to let him fall off the stage? Like, it was a silly excuse. And then to try to play things off like that we had banned him. No, you weren't banned. You had a credential. You were walking everywhere you wanted to go. These are just kind of lame excuses. Like, if you have that much time, think of something better.
Tank Davis don't fall down. He's like a cat. Trust me. He'll end up on his feet.
And even if he were going to fall, we got it.
There you go.
He had, again, Calvin right there. Calvin's not going to let anything happen to Tank.
There you go. There you go. We've talked about the main event of this card, and we're going to go back to it shortly before the end of the show. I want to talk about the co-main event. Isaac Pitbull Cruz against Giovanni, Cabrera. So what do you think about the matchup, and why is that the co-main event? Was that a hard decision, or is that something you two wanted to put together?
No, I mean, it's he's called Pitbull for a reason.
Yes.
The guy is I love his style. I love how he brawls, how he comes in. I think that's the best it was the best choice for a co-main. I think he brings it. I was just talking to Ray about this fight. Ray said this is like the one he was the most looking forward to on the card, aside from the main event, obviously.
Yeah.
But he was just telling me, like, I think if he wins, he's got this and this opportunity and this opportunity. So it's a big fight for him, and I think his fan base is really growing.
Yes, Sean's doing a great job with that.
I mean, he's when we were in LA, we couldn't keep fans away from him. So I think. Honestly, from the top to the bottom of this card, it's stacked.
No, it's a great card.
Especially now with the addition. I mean, bummer that Jesus, the Ramos fight we had to delay a bit, but that's unfortunately part of the game. It's what happens. But Nonito Donaire being there, I mean, you got some big names. You got some big fighters on there. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. You mentioned Cruz in LA. In LA, he's the uncrowned champion in LA.
Oh yeah, they love him.
By you watching him, you mentioned that he's very aggressive. What makes him special? His team, his management, himself inside of the ring. What stands out for you? He's a great guy outside, but inside the ring, he's dynamic. He's fun to watch too. He's one of those real put on a show kind of guy. So I think, and how he just keeps going for it too. People like that. They like that. So he's a fun fighter to watch. If you had to give any advice for Giovanni, who's his opponent, what advice would you give him?
Good luck. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's getting into, and I'm sure he's prepared for it, and I'm sure they study film and know. Isaac's tough. That's a tough guy. There's no quitting him. That's for sure.
No, he's he comes forward, and I know Gio's kind of an awkward fighter. Has decent pop in his hands. Trained by Freddie Roach. It's going to be a very difficult task for Giovanni. To be honest with you, who was on the show about 6 weeks ago? Isaac's just he's waiting his turn.
That's right.
He's waiting.
He's still got, hungry. He's hungry. Yes. He's a hungry pitbull.
Yeah. So I'm personally looking forward to that fight. I don't see that fight going the distance at all. But this is boxing, and a lot can happen.
You never know. What do they say? One punch can change it all.
Yeah, and one punch is all it takes. Yes, exactly.
For real.
What's your take now? If for at least 3 fights, Team Canelo is part of the PVC family.
Hmm.
What was your take on that signing and the possible opponents
Oh,
for him, and just him being on your roster?
yeah. I mean, he made the right choice. Um,
There you go.
no, I think we like basically broke the internet with with the announcement of his opponent, Jermel, who I've been rocking with the Lions for a long time. Those are
Yeah.
my guys. Uh, I think Canelo. Oh, did I do that?
Okay. Yeah.
I think sorry. Canelo knew. We got the opponents that he knew where he had to come to get the good fights too. He's a tough guy. He's a smart guy. He wants those fights, and it's his legacy.
Well, leading up to that, he was getting a lot of flack on, okay, you're not going to fight this guy. You're not going to fight this guy. Well, he didn't just come over to PVC for no reason. He knows the meat is there. He
Right.
knows the tough the Benavides is, and both of the Lions are there. And sky's
Yeah.
the limit there at PVC right now. I think that was a great move for Canelo.
Right. We have also people, the Twitter, and I try to stay off of it because I'm just like frustrated by it. They think they know everything, and it's like if we're only that simple, that fighters just be like, that's who I want to fight. Let's make it. There's a lot that has to go into it, even if they both are wanting to fight. It's just, and then things have to work out, camps, contracts. I mean, there's a lot. So yeah, the Twitter warriors, they'll give you shit one day, and then the next day they love you, and then the next day they hate you, and then even we saw that with Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
He quit. He didn't listen. And then all of a sudden the wave changed. Oh, there was a mole in this camp. Oh, there was this, it's like, and then they'll be back to, they hate you one day, they love you the next. It's
Listen,
part of it.
this is the fight business, and I'm preaching to the choir here. Fighters go into that knowing there's a Mo in every camp. Expect the worst. Prepare yourself for everything. It doesn't matter. Just know that someone's taping your sparring, someone's taping this
Right.
or that. At the end of the day, the bell rings and you got 2 hands like your opponent.
And, I don't think Tank needed a mole to tell him to fight. Like, it wasn't anything I don't know. It just, that got wild. Wild.
Very well said.
Lots of conspiracy theorists.
Very well said. Jaws don't need to be hungry to eat you, okay?
Like, I don't think they needed me to, and also I don't think my uncle, who had a 40-year long, he's a Hall of Famer, like, I don't think he's going to risk it all to feed me some information. Like, come on. It wasn't even worth like addressing at the time, because I'm like, come on, this is silly.
Well, I mean, those that they have nothing else to talk about. They want to put 2 and 2 together, but instead of putting 4, they're still at 3.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they were at like 7. It was off the charts of crazy.
It was. Now that David Benavides isn't getting the fight that he wanted, next, where does David Benavides go from here? What's his next fight? Is he waiting on the winner, which makes sense, of Charlo and Canelo, or who does David Benavides fight next? Where does he go from here?
I think David has his pick now. Well, I'm sure he won the Canelo, but I think we'll see that eventually. It's going to happen, but I don't think Canelo has an easy fighter. No. I think he has a tough ass fight. You're not going to get through Jermel easily. It's going to be, I don't know where David's one of my favorite fighters to watch too. Hands down. That guy comes at you too. That's scary. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of him in the ring, but David has his pick. We'll see. He's going to be back soon though.
No, he is, and I like when he rocks the afro too during workouts. He needs to rock it in the during his fights. It kind of moves around like a young Tommy Hearns when he had that Jerry curl rocking.
It feels like it was so long ago that he fought Caleb, because these past couple months that started this whole little
Exactly. Exactly.
roll of fights. That was some bad blood that and look, they fought out like men or
That was a
gentlemen,
good
and
fight.
then they're fine. Yeah,
Caleb put
that
a
did
great
start out. That
account of
was Mark.
himself. Caleb put a great account of himself at that fight. Didn't back
Oh
down.
yeah.
I love. Talk about ring walks. I love his ring walk, and I love the song, and I love the sample I
I
used of
did
Eminem.
too. It was
It was
funny. Yeah, I
funny.
like that. Caleb's got a good personality too. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think. But yeah, they really did start out this role of big fights finally getting made that everyone's been wanting to see.
well, I will say this, and I'm not going to mention no names, but those who know me closely know exactly who I'm talking about. And I thought twice about saying it, but you know what? I'm going to say whatever I want. I spoke
Yeah.
briefly to 240 pounders, two junior welterweights, who's coming to the end of their contract or coming to the end of their fights with their promotion team. And the first things to come out of their mouth is all the meat is at PVC. Now, hearing that, knowing that people want to join your roster, and we're talking about undefeated potential world champions, former world champions. I won't say too much because I'm already giving it away. How does that make you feel knowing that you're a part and in the driver's seat of one of the top promotions in the world?
I mean, it's surreal. It's just great because the genuine love I have for the sport too, and the fighters, like they're our number one. I've said it every chance I get. Anything I could do for these, they want this, they want credentials. Who cares? They risk their lives. It's all about them to me. Nothing that they can ask me or is outrageous. Like I really, that is who we are here for. That is who we work for. And I think that shows too.
Yeah.
It's about them. Like I'm not getting a ring. When the bell rings, I'm sitting in my seat, with like I'm not in the gym putting in hours and hours and doing. So I think it's credit to that too, that we do really pride ourselves. Like my dad, especially, like he'll check in with all these fights. We really pride ourselves on treating our guys really, really well. Not to say anyone else is not, but I it's like family when you're with us. So it makes me feel good. I'm just so happy to be part of this and be at this point in the boxing world and this where it's like revived. It's just not that it was ever dead and gone, but this is a revival that's historic in a lot of ways with the fights that are being made, and I'm really, really, really proud to be part of it.
Well, at this point in juncture, no fans have any right or reason as of now to bitch and complain about these fights not getting made.
They'll find it.
None whatsoever.
Someone will find something. Can't make everyone happy all the time.
No, exactly. I mean, there's always going to be something, but right now, I mean, come on, everybody's doing what they need to do. At least on your part, you guys are putting down the big fights.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's on the part of the fighters though too. It's surreal. That's the only word I can think about. It's like every day I'm like, oh my god, this fight's a week closer, and this fight, it's just banger after banger after banger. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, I can't wait till a week from now when my plane lands in Las Vegas and I get out, and I just want to soak up that energy. I just want to be a part of it. And, I want to look back and say, this reminded me of this particular fight, or in its own right, has its own energy and about to create its own legacy.
Yeah. And be one of those fights where you remember where you saw, you're going to be like, I remember when I saw that fight, I was here. Or you're going to remember this one forever. I mean, it has all the makings of being the fight of our generation.
From all the experience that you've had, I wish we could move up a week, but we can't. As if you're gathering it right now, what matchup would you most compare it to as far as the energy, as far as, I don't want to say chaos, but as far as the media, as far as the work ethic with these fighters, what can you compare it to with this event? What can you compare it to? What other past event?
Like that I've worked, or are you saying just in general?
In general, I'm talking about the energy there in Vegas, the top,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Well, so the energy, we're going to feel the energy next
Yes.
week, but the energy of just the press tour of, I mean, this is the real boxing fanatics. This is like their Super Bowl. This is even more than a Super Bowl, because you get that once a year. This is their like dream matchup. This is, you don't see this anymore. There's so many things that delay, and this side, and what did I think Terrence said, the other side of the road or whatever before. There's nothing. This is happening in their prime, when they're both ready, and they got a lot to lose still. They both are kind of, it's reminiscent of, I'm thinking way throwback. I'm talking like Hearns. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
The only thing I could think of is, even when I was a little kid, just the matchup of who could win this fight when it was, Tommy the Hitman in 1981, Tommy the Hitman Hearns and Sugar
Right.
Ray Leonard. They would go back and forth, and you would hear the fans going back and forth. And in this particular fight, you got fans that want to take it to another level. And the first bell hasn't even rang yet.
I know. You can't miss this one. This is the one. You split, you buy this pay-per-view, you get to Vegas, you get tickets, and you can't miss this one. If you are even a little bit of a boxing fan, this is the fight to watch.
I went round and round on a couple of the same questions with you, Brittany, because I want to give something for the fan, what you say, for it to rub off on the fans, because you got to remember, you're inside. They're outside looking in. And to get just the vibe from you, the experience that we text back and forth, and he said, well, I just got to walk Errol out, and then I'll be ready for at this time. Just saying that statement, fans would love to walk next to him and escort him out, or make sure it's getting taken care of. So what's it like to be inside?
It's crazy. No, I know like how lucky I am to
very blessed
to be here and to be in this position. And there's times, it's hard work sometimes, and I get bummed out about certain things. At the end of the day, like, this is incredible to be part of. This fight especially, it's incredible to be part of. And I love Errol so much, and I've known him again since I say he was a kid. He still is a kid to me, but it's genuine, like, friendship at this point, and it is incredible to just like watch where he's gotten to his career, or where I've gotten to mine at this point. It's just, it's the biggest stage, and it's awesome to be part of. Like I said, pinch me. Like, I can't believe it's real sometimes.
Well, Brittany, the first bell rings. What could the fans, followers, and supporters expect?
I think that is fireworks from the first bell. I think immediately. I don't think either of them I think we're fast. I'm anxious. We got 1 week? Today's Wednesday. Yeah. We're almost there.
We're almost there. After 5 rounds, if it goes 5 rounds, who do you have up and what's going on? Break it down for me.
I got my guy. I got Errol. I think Errol's going to break him down. Again, I think, 100% he's going to pull it off. But again, I don't know Terrence's, how his camp has been. Today was the first day I've seen him. But I know my guy. I know Errol, and I know what he's coming to do and what he's coming to prove.
I recently had Antonio Tarver on the show, and he said, and he saw the same thing I saw at the first press conference. Errol already turned it on. He's already in fight mode. He was at level 2, 3, and 4, where Terrence just walked out to the press conference. I saw that in Errol, and so did Antonio Tarver, and he made a statement about that.
Yeah, no, Errol's there. He's been there. He's been ready for this for a while. He was signed and ready to go for a bit now. Yeah, he's there. He's got, I can't wait.
I've never seen Terrence show a fighter as much as respect as he's showing Errol Spence. He almost seems out of
How
character.
could you not?
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not throwing him underneath the bus already and saying the fight's already over. I'm just going to call it like I see it thus far.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both have respect for each other. They know they do. They have a certain level of respect. I think most fighters do for each other for the most part. Again, I think they're both kind of laid back, kind of cool guys, that just sort of put in the work. But Errol's work ethic is like no one's ever seen. I don't know Terrence's work ethic, but I mean, the press tour, yeah, that showed. They don't have to
No.
talk a lot. They don't have to do that. They know exactly where they're going to do their talking. The both of them.
Errol's always relaxed and calm every single fight, and just relax, calm, sure of himself. Talks very slowly, thinks about what he says, and just a very poised warrior, I would say.
Yeah, it's that Texas,
calm,
accent, cool, collected, not neurotic like me from LA.
No, but I love what you put on your Instagram. What is it? Bitchy Brittany? Love that.
No, it's Brittany Bitch, which is a play on.
Then I was close. So sorry if I went off on the deep end. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. Bitchy Brittany works as well. That's the same. But
my producer right now is shaking her head like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh yeah. No, who cares? That's fine. Yeah, but no, you don't know about Britney Spears. It's Brittany Bitch.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
That's like the thing. So I did that a while ago, but yeah, Bitchy Brittany works too.
Okay, we'll hashtag that too. That'll blow up.
I'm sure that's used as well.
There you go. Hey, those that can't make it to Las Vegas, those that are unable to get a ticket, how do we watch this? What are the pay-per-view? How do we get pay-per-view? How do we get ourselves in front of a screen TV to watch this?
Get the pay-per-view from Showtime. If you're in Vegas and you don't have a ticket, there are closed circuit. There are a bunch of places showing it. There is also, I believe you could, 100% you could pre-order it on Showtime actually now. You can access it through the Premier Boxing Champions website. If you can get tickets and you can get to Vegas. Even if you can't get tickets, if you could be part of any of the Fight Week activities, we got a couple things that are open to the public, and you're going to want to be in the atmosphere and you're going to be around it, and you don't want to miss that either. But yeah, this is the fight you buy. It's worth every dollar.
Now, where can they get merchandise? Is the ring set up outside the inside the MGM Grand? I'm talking about getting the fans getting down there and coming back with some merch.
Yeah, they're gonna get their merch. It is down. Oh, my phone's like tripping. They're also like, I know Terrence, I think, is selling his own merch too, and Spence will have his. You can also find it. I think they're linked on each of their Instagrams. But yeah, MGM will for sure. They have all theirs, and Fight Night will have stuff, and it will be around the whole week. So just get out to Vegas, bear the heat. It's worth it.
How do we follow Brittany?
Instagram, Brit_GV, and my Twitter, I think it's just Brittany Goossen. But like I said, I try to avoid that because I get into trouble.
There you go. What do you have to say to that one fan that's just in doubt? What do you got to say to them? Just that one fan that always second guesses everybody. That one fan that's just never happy. Do you think they'll be happy with this event?
Yeah, well, keep watching. One of these will make you happy eventually.
Hey, Brittany Goossen, ladies and gentlemen. Brittany, I want to thank you for taking the time, answering the questions. You never shy away from a question. Yeah. You never shy away with the opportunity to come on the show. I appreciate you and consider you as part of the Fighters Voice family as well.
Woohoo. Yes, definitely. And we'll see you out there next week. or out
Exactly.
here.
Make sure you stay on after we close this right now. I'm Rich Ortiz, your host of The Fighter's
Okay.
Voice, the only voice that matters. And like Brittany, Goossen, and PVC, we're simply knocking out the competition. And it's a wrap. As always, thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember,
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, and all the crew, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.